There is a moment in every man's life when something silently breaks. Not his heart. Not his confidence. Something deeper. It is the moment he realizes he has been fighting for someone's attention while slowly losing his connection with himself. And the strange thing is, the moment he stops chasing, stops proving, and stops begging to be understood, people start seeing him differently. Not because he became cold. Not because he started playing games. But because he finally returned to himself. Carl Jung once explored a powerful idea: the parts of ourselves we ignore eventually control our lives. And for many men, the ignored part is their own value. Today, we are exploring why the moment a man stops abandoning himself is often the moment others stop taking him for granted. For a long time, many men believe love is something they must earn. They think, if I give more, she will appreciate me. If I explain myself better, she will finally understand me. If I prove my loyalty enough, she will finally see my worth. So they keep giving. More attention. More patience. More chances. More pieces of themselves. But slowly, something dangerous happens. They stop being a person. They become a performance. A person constantly trying to become enough for someone else. And this is where Carl Jung's idea of the shadow becomes important. The shadow is not simply your darkness. It is the hidden part of yourself that you refuse to acknowledge. Your frustration. Your boundaries. Your needs. Your desire for respect. When a man ignores these parts for too long, he creates an inner conflict. Outside, he says, I'm okay. I'm happy. I don't mind. But inside, something is quietly asking. Why am I fighting so hard for someone who is not fighting for me? The first shift, you stop seeking validation. The biggest transformation begins when a man stops asking, how can I make her choose me? And starts asking, why did I stop choosing myself? This is not arrogance. This is awareness. There is a difference between loving someone and losing yourself trying to keep them. Love should add to your life. It should not require you to destroy your peace. A man who understands his value does not become emotionless. He simply stops allowing another person's attention to determine his identity. Because when your confidence depends on someone's approval, you give them control over your emotions. One good day can make you feel powerful. One cold message can destroy your entire mood. That is not love. That is emotional dependence. The power of silence. Sometimes the strongest message is not a speech. It is a change in behavior. The man who used to send long explanations becomes quiet. The man who used to chase answers learns to accept uncertainty. The man who used to fight to be understood realizes something important. You cannot force someone to see a value they refuse to recognize. Silence is powerful when it comes from peace. Not revenge. Not manipulation. Not a desire to make someone suffer. Real silence says, I no longer need to convince you of my worth. And that energy is different. People can feel when someone is desperately seeking approval. But they can also feel when someone has found inner stability. Why people notice your absence. Human beings often recognize value when access changes. Think about something you always had. A person who was always available. A person who always answered. A person who always forgave. Sometimes constant availability creates familiarity. And familiarity can create carelessness. Not always because someone is cruel. Sometimes because people underestimate what they receive without effort. But when that access disappears, the dynamic changes. Suddenly, they notice the silence. They notice the difference. They notice that the person who once revolved around them is now building his own world. And this is where many people misunderstand. The goal is not to make someone regret losing you. The goal is to become someone you no longer want to lose. The Jungian lesson, return to yourself. Carl Jung believed the journey of becoming whole is called individuation. It means becoming your true self. Not the version created by people's expectations. Not the version desperate for acceptance. The real you. The man who knows his principles. The man who understands his emotions. The man who can love deeply without abandoning himself. Because a man who has inner stability is different. He does not need to announce his confidence. He does not need to prove his strength. His actions speak. His calm speaks. His boundaries speak. When she sees the new you. The biggest change is not that someone else sees you differently. The biggest change is that you see yourself differently. Before, you looked for someone to complete you. Now, you build a life you are proud of. Before, you feared losing someone. Now, you fear losing yourself. Before, you chased attention. Now, you protect your peace. And this transformation creates a different type of presence. You become harder to manipulate. Harder to control. Harder to break. Not because your heart became smaller. But because your self-respect became stronger. The most powerful moment is not when someone comes back. The most powerful moment is when you realize you no longer need them to. Because your happiness is no longer waiting at someone's doorstep. Your confidence is no longer dependent on someone's reply. Your identity is no longer controlled by someone's opinion. You finally understand. The person you were chasing was never the answer. The answer was the person you were becoming. Remember this. The strongest people are not those who never get hurt. They are those who get hurt, learn, grow, and refuse to abandon themselves. Sometimes losing someone's attention is the beginning of finding your own. Sometimes walking away is not about leaving another person behind. Sometimes walking away is about finally coming home to yourself. This is not revenge. This is evolution. This is the moment you stop asking the world to recognize your value. Because you finally recognize it yourself. If this message connected with you, subscribe to Psyche Sync. Here, we explore human nature, relationships, emotions, and the psychology behind why people think, feel, and behave the way they do. Remember. Master yourself. Understand human nature. This is Psyche Sync.